Predation from cormorants can have a devastating impact on our fisheries, be that in freshwater or saltwater, natural venues or commercial. The impact of predation can be catastrophic. Our fisheries management advisors work nationally to support clubs and fisheries in two ways. Looking firstly at how to reduce avian predation is key, but then secondly to support clubs and fisheries in leveraging funding so you can take the action necessary to make a real difference to protect your stocks.
For the most part through the year, most fisheries will sustain a number of cormorants. The problem appears to be exacerbated through the winter months when we get the resident birds starbursting from the nesting colonies. Then you'll get an influx from the coastal zones, and then with the additional influx of migratory birds coming across from Northern Europe, tips the balance against the fish on some waters. Some people argue that this is natural, but there is a balance between what's an acceptable level of predation and what some angling clubs and fisheries would say that the predation is having a severe impact on their overall fish stocks and biomass. You can try as best you can to make your water as resilient as possible. Initially through water quality, through habitat works, so you're getting a natural recruitment of fish into your waters. Following that by a number of non-lethal practical methods that clubs can deploy through the year. Each water, each fishery has its own set of factors, and you've just got to blend the techniques that are available out there to fit your particular water. And we at the Angling Trust are there to try and assist people and put together a package to protect your fish stocks and your fishery and or your club waters. The funding for my role comes from fishing licence income and forms part of the Angling Trust contract with the Environment Agency.
The venue that we're at today suffered quite badly from cormorant predation going back 4 or 5 years. The number of cormorants increased, particularly in winter, and the cormorants took a large quantity of fish out of the water. The water then becomes clearer because there's less fish stirring up, and as a result of the water becoming clearer, we then saw secondary problems of invasive weed, making the venue virtually unfishable within a couple of years. When venues become difficult in terms of the quality of fishing, it has an adverse impact on membership. Memberships drop, therefore the income to the club drops, and therefore what the club can do about addressing the issues falls with it. It becomes a downward spiral. We accessed funding from the Angling Trust via their Angling Improvement Fund, which is a fund that runs throughout the year, and that allowed us access to funds that we use to implement some of the cormorant prevention measures that we have in the lake today.
The Angling Trust administer the Angling Improvement Fund on behalf of the Environment Agency. The Angling Improvement Fund is monies received from the rod licence income from coarse and non-migratory rod licence sales.
Getting to a point where you completely eliminate cormorant predation through measures that you take yourself is unrealistic. It takes too much time. There's not enough hours in the day, so you have to improve the natural resilience of the lake to fight itself. So our efforts with the Angling Improvement Fund was to build a series of protective refuges that protected the fish from direct cormorant predation, and then moving on from that provided safe places for those fish to spawn, improving the rates of natural reproduction, and the two things together give you a lot of protection going forwards from cormorant predation.
Currently, the most effective means to protect our fish stocks is for clubs and fisheries to work directly with our fisheries management advisors to implement those non-lethal methods. For a number of years, the Angling Trust have led a campaign to have cormorants added to the general licence. This is a campaign we're extremely passionate about and will continue to drive forwards on behalf of fish, fishing and the environment.
Well, the Avon Roach project was formed following the 2005 Environment Agency fish stock surveys of the Hampshire Avon, revealing in some areas no roach left alive in the middle reaches, and it was estimated that the roach population within the river was already below critical mass and unable to recover unassisted. So Budgie and I got together and thought, we've got to do something. Using the remnant population and retaining the genetic purity through pioneering techniques, which you can see on our website, we managed an unprecedented recovery of Avon Roach. Although we looked after the numbers, it was all about a lot more than just sploshing roaches. We've affected the weed cut, the annual mechanical weed cut. We've improved habitat throughout the river. We've had landowners and people on our side. But again, what we need is to go that little bit further with getting the predation under control and having the cormorants on the general licence. What we want is a change in this woefully inadequate licensing regime. We need the right to adequately protect our vulnerable inland fish populations from this non-native overwintering cormorant. We worked very closely with the Angling Trust over many years when we delivered a petition to the then Minister Richard Benyon in London to have the cormorant placed on the general licence. And this still stands now. And of course, with changes in ministerial personnel over the years, often as ministers change, the reset button is hit, and that's what happened to us, unfortunately. So things fell by the wayside. We delivered a joint challenge to the woefully inadequate licensing policy in 2018, and unfortunately, as everybody knows, shortly after that we were overtaken by events that have affected the whole world. So we were unsuccessful there as well. But what I would say is that through the partnership, the strong partnership we enjoy, we will continue to fight on, and we will not give up. We will have our own drum to bang and our own agendas, but with an overall representative body, we can all be heard, we can all have an influence, and we can all make a difference. So I think it's vitally important that we all pull together in some form or other, and there's no better place to do that than through the Angling Trust, in my view. And this is what it's all about.
The Angling Trust are the absolute experts in understanding and helping the clubs understand what the best actions are to take using their experience from a whole number of waters with the same issues. So it's absolutely vital that you use the expertise of the Angling Trust to help you build your venue-specific plan. I work with the Angling Trust weekly on a variety of matters, and it's quite important to think that not only do I get support from them, but we pass information the other way, so whether that's good ideas or events and things like that. So our relationship with the Angling Trust is developed from one where we're asking for information using expertise to like a partnership really, where we try to help each other. It's really good, it's vital, and the relationship with the Angling Trust has got stronger and stronger, and our membership numbers have got larger and larger. It's no coincidence that the two things work together.
So what can you do to help? Very simply, join the Angling Trust and Fish Legal today and support our campaigns to protect our fisheries from predation